Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel. 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 This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel, and I am your host, moderator, and all-around nice guy, Edward Anderson. Happy New Year. Okay, so this is the time of year when we all set goals for the upcoming year. And I wanted to give you 3 ideas that you might want to put on your resolution list for next year related to your finances. Bank. I know what the market is going to do, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to explain it to you, and I'm going to offer you a solution. You can see that the market had a nice sell-off a couple weeks ago, and I told you I'd be looking for a bounce, and sure enough, like this. The 2 best things you can do, in my opinion, right now is, number 1, reduce your exposure to your bank, and number 2, find ways of creating passive recurring income. A couple weeks ago, I showed you this chart. Okay, I explained to you the sugar high that was created the past couple of years by the Federal Reserve. I showed you where the critical support was on the market, and I showed you where the next major support level is in this market level. Now, one of the key differences between a professional trader and an amateur is that amateurs, they equate taking a loss with failure, and nobody wants to be a failure, right? Whereas a professional, he thinks of it as a business. He keeps his losses small and he lets his winners run, right? We are in a moment in time in history right now. The upcoming financial crisis is going to overwhelm the entire world, and it is going to happen, and the signs are there. And if you just read the news and pay a little attention, you will see it. You won't have to take my word for anything that I'm about to tell you. But what do you do about it? Before this video is over, I'm going to show you how you can not only survive this calamity, but you can actually prosper in it during this video. Another reason why you're going to want to start getting money out of your bank is, let's look to the north here. Now, I'm in Minnesota in America, so Canada is my neighbor to the north. And Canada, it's a first world country, okay? And they've got laws that you would think are there to protect their citizens. But a couple of days ago, after the government decided to enact their Emergency Powers Act, which was meant in times of war, right? And they decided to use that act for the first time in history. And what do they use it on? They're using it on their own citizens, okay? And they're giving the banks carte blanche to freeze people's accounts and take money out of their accounts. Civilians. I worked as a stockbroker and as a trader and as a trading instructor. So I do know a little bit about this stuff. And you can see that we basically have a double top in this market. And look at this support level right here. Now, this is the 1-year chart on Bitcoin. Now, you can see year over year, Bitcoin right now is basically where it was this time last year. It's given up all those gains that it had at one point in this year. Take a look at a longer term chart on Bitcoin. Now, you can see that even though Bitcoin has come down quite a bit, very severely in a very short period of time, you know what? It's got a lot more room to go to the downside. The idea that it cannot go down any further, get that out of your mind right now. But sure, I promise you that there are going to be dramatic pushback rallies in both the stock market and in cryptos, okay? But they're probably going to be short-lived. So this is what they call a trader's market. But I don't see, at this moment, I don't see any particular catalysts that's going to drive it back to where it was a couple of months ago. Why would it? Okay, listen. Now here we can see the important levels, right? We see where the current resistance level is in the market, the support level. Support level right now in the market is around 32,600. So right now we're looking at the 7-year chart of Bitcoin, and we can see what it's been doing over the past 7 years. And look what's been happening a year or so. The market has a very solid double top there. That's not a good sign for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's take a look at the 1-year chart, okay? Now you can see here the Bitcoin has a very solid resistance there at 48,000, minor support at 38.5, and if it breaks that, the next support level is at the 29,800 level. So my takeaway in this market is there's absolutely no reason to be bullish in either the stock market in general or in cryptocurrencies at the moment. You know, there's an old adage in trading is you don't always have to be in a trade. Okay, sometimes it's best to stand on the sidelines and let things play out. Right now, the market is at best going sideways, but I think the trend is down, and I think we have a lot further to go to the downside. So in the thumbnail, I pretty much infer that the dollar is toast. The dollar is gone. And I do think in a large measure, it already is. And I think the writing is kind of on the wall. And you have to know about this. You have to start taking measures so that you can survive it and maybe even take advantage of it. And that's what we're going to cover here. See this? See the words Federal Reserve Note? Look at the money that's in your wallet. And it says Federal Reserve Note. That means it's a debt instrument. It's not real money. It's not backed by anything. It used to be backed by gold prior to 1971, but ever since then, it's not backed by anything. It's made up. It's money out of thin air. Now, the first thing you have to do is just get the cash out. You know, get this literally out of the bank. Then take a large chunk of it and start buying these guys. Start buying, you know, silver and gold. These are the only two currencies in the entire world. That's it, silver and gold. And what's the last thing that you need to do? You need to develop some kind of passive recurring income. Now, I'm a technician. I look at the charts. The charts tell me everything I need to know. All right, some really scary stuff is going on. I've been raising the flag on this for months now, and I've been right all along. All right, now you can see that when the market got down to this red line here a few weeks ago, it had that nice little rally, put in a double top, and now it's right back down to that support level. Okay? Now, the thing about bear market rallies is that they can be very impressive. They can be very violent, and they can be very fast, but they don't last. And we just saw that in the market. Okay, so now we see that descending triangle in starker relief. You can see how important that support line is right now. Okay, so if you are a subscriber to my channel and you have been for a while, you haven't been surprised with what's been going on in the market because I've been talking about this all along. And I told people what I expect them to do. And sure enough, that critical support level was broken. And now we're heading toward the next major support line level. All right. Now, when I was first giving the warning sign on Bitcoin, it was back here. We had a very clear double top. Then we have nice head and shoulders. So right in here, I was telling people, all right, if this level gets taken out, we're going to see a lot of damage. And sure enough, boom. And we came down to this 19,000 level real fast. Okay, so by now, if you're a veteran to my channel, you know the world is undergoing some dramatic changes here. And we are going to be living in a new kind of a world very soon. It's already well underway. And the focus of my channel is to show you practical ways to not only survive what's coming up, but also to thrive in it and actually do really well in it. I want everybody in the Hey Ed community out there to not only weather what's coming down the road, but also to thrive in it and to become masters of your own domain. Okay, so yesterday the CPI number came out, and as it turns out, inflation is actually a problem. Whoa, surprise! And so on that news, the market sold off over 1,200 points. So it looks like the brainiacs on Wall Street are finally starting to learn what we already knew. Welcome to episode 1 of my little series titled Trading Tricks. So welcome to the inaugural episode. All right. So I thought I would start out the series talking about the difference between trading and investing. What exactly is the difference between trading and investing? Welcome to episode 5 of my series called Trading Tricks, where I discuss little tricks of the trade in trading. All right. So in this episode, I want to talk to you about the psychology of trading. Now, when I first started teaching people how to trade, I had no roadmap to deal with because I actually designed one of the first trading classes that was available to the public in the country.
So academically, I can teach someone how to trade in 90 minutes. As it turns out, that's not the hard part in trading. The hard part in trading is the psychological part. Okay, we are in episode 12 right now of my Trading Tricks series. So in this video, let's talk about how the market is always right. Now, this kind of harkens back to that video where I talked to you about fundamental analysis versus trading analysis. Okay, so as a trader, you want to be careful not to fall into the trap of hoping. So today I want to talk to you about the idea of fading. All right, so what is fading? We know that the general cliche in trading is trade the trend, right? Well, when you fade, you are actually doing the opposite.
Now, when you see what's going on right now in Canada, it should send shivers up the spine of not just Canadians, but of any freedom-loving person. So within the past 24 hours, the Canadian government decided to enact an emergency clause that's never been used before in the history of the country. And what do they decide to use it on? In order to punish law-abiding, peaceful citizens who only want their freedoms back. When governments are desperate, the first thing they go after is the money. The first thing they go after is your finances. Your prime minister announced with a straight face that he's going to go after your money. He's going to freeze your bank accounts, and then he's going to confiscate money out of your bank account. Why winning doesn't care. In my thumbnail, I mentioned that the Federal Reserve has destroyed America. For the sake of brevity, I just mentioned the Federal Reserve, but really it's the Federal Reserve and Congress. All right, so let's get into it and talk about what this means for you and the world and what you can do about it. Throughout history, there have been many civilizations that have taken turns being the world's superpower. You had ancient Greece, and then Rome, and then Constantinople, and then Amsterdam, and England, then America. In every one of those cases, all empires or superpowers have failed for financial reasons. It is the 4th of July, and for us here in America, that's one of our most important celebrations of the year, where we celebrate our revolution and taking our freedoms back from a tyrannical government. Unfortunately, the fight continues. We're still fighting a tyranny every day, and our freedoms continue to be under assault by new characters. And it's important that you know what's going on, because your freedoms have been eroded. I'd like to talk to you about the single most evil entity in the world, called the World Economic Forum. This is a group of elite people, the richest, most powerful people and companies in the world, that have gotten together to create literally a new world order. These people are not elected. Okay, these are private, powerful people, and they are already changing your lives, not for the better. Here is a list of just a few of the global companies that you will recognize that are part of the World Economic Forum. Today, I want to talk to you about kind of another serious topic, and that is the new world order that is underway. The ground underneath us is shifting in a very dramatic way, and it is going to affect all of us for the rest of our lives. As veterans to my channel know, I have 3 basic recommendations that everyone should follow. First thing you have to do is reduce your exposure to your bank. Your money in your bank is not safe. Get your money out of the bank, number 1. Number 2, you got to get some gold and silver. All right. Now remember, when you put your money into gold and silver, you're not spending your money, right? You're just moving your assets from a depreciating asset class into gold and silver, which is going to preserve your buying power. And then the last thing you have to do is you have to establish streams of passive recurring income. All right, so there's been a development over the past few days that is not being reported in the mainstream media. We had an event that I would consider probably the most significant piece of world economic news in the past, I don't know, decades, probably 50 years or more.
Okay, so since World War I, the US dollar has been the world's reserve currency. But now it is under attack. It is very quickly, all of a sudden, starting to lose its world reserve currency status. So here's the news. Targeting the US dollar's hegemony, Russia, China, and BRICS nations plan to craft a new international reserve currency. The world economic system is being divided into two groups now. And the US dollar is no longer going to be the dominant reserve currency. Gold and silver in order to destroy the US dollar. The US dollar is not backed by anything. The US dollar and all other fiat currencies throughout the world are just paper. It's made up stuff. The only reason why it's money is because everyone agrees that it's money. But with the Federal Reserve printing money like a drunken sailor for the past few years, actually for decades for that matter, but it's been on steroids the past few years, the buying power of the US dollar has been destroyed. Today, I want to talk to you about energy. And this is a very important, I know it might seem like kind of a boring topic, but really, this is so critical right now. Now, Germany, they had 14 nuclear power plants that they decided to shut down. Okay, now this was zero carbon emission energy. Okay, and they decided to shut them down. And by the way, for most of these power plants, they made this decision after they decided to put sanctions on Russia. So they knew what was coming, but they managed to get their tentacle into every government in the world. And these people who proudly display their title, WEF board member, these people are seated at high levels of government and they make policy. And these policies are going to be the downfall of Western civilization if we don't stop it soon. Okay. I don't know. It might already be too late. So I have many friends in the UK telling me that their energy prices have already gone up about 100% in just the past month. Where did all the silver go? So let's look at the summary here. Over the last year, Registered has lost over 50 million ounces or 48.5%. A repeat of last year would see COMEX Registered fully exhausted. Okay, so Executive Order 14067. What does it do? What does it mean to you? And what can you do about it? All right, let's get right to it. Okay, so there are a lot of governments out there right now who are not waiting for the next emergency or the next pandemic in order to start restricting your freedom of travel and a lot of other freedoms. We're going to talk about that and things you can do to secure your own personal liberties. All right, so let's get started. You shall not pass! This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel. You cannot go through a regular, normal day in China without having to do this in order to live your life.
As if you... Yeah, watch this. So you can't pass.
You're going to start hearing that term a lot more. Why don't we just make everyone live in a neighborhood, and we will have everything they need for life inside of that little neighborhood. And if they go outside the neighborhood, we'll make sure that we know about it and that we don't like it. So here's the headline out of Oxford, England. Traffic filters will divide city into 15-minute neighborhoods. Roadblocks stopping most motorists from driving through Oxford city center will divide the city into 6 15-minute neighborhoods, a county council travel chief has said. And he insisted the controversial plan would go ahead whether people like it or not. Special guest today coming to us again, live from down under, where the water spins in the wrong direction when you flush the toilet. Rob Bruss. Hey, Rob, how you doing, buddy?
G'day, Ed. It does. It spins the opposite way to you.
Because I know you're one of your favorite pastimes is doing donuts in the parking ramp underneath the Sydney Opera House. I won't tell anybody. It's just between you and me, okay? So no one will ever know.
I'm going to have to video that for you one day. I'll go down there first thing in the morning when there's nobody there on a Sunday or something. Welcome to the very first episode of the Crypto Cartel podcast. I'm your host, Rob Bruss.
And I'm Ed Anderson.
Welcome to the Crypto Cartel. I'm your host, Rob Russ.
And I am Ed Anderson.
Welcome to the Crypto Cartel. I'm your host, Rob Russ.
And I'm Ed Anderson.
Whatever, if I hit my head skydiving with or without drugs, I'm going to die. I have to live now, not in the future when you tell me to, Dr. Nobody.
And I've got a real fun one for you today. We have our Rob Russ joining us again from Australia. Hey, Rob, how you doing, buddy?
G'day, Ed. Great to see you, mate. And good to be doing another one of these shows with you, man. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
You got a plan?
Well, think about it, man. The worst case scenario if the lights went off, yeah, and I think that will happen in the next 6 months.
And today, I'm always so happy when I get a chance to have this guest on the channel. The ladies are always appreciative. My views always go up whenever I have this gentleman on my channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome live from Cronulla, Australia, Rob Russ. Hey, Rob.
G'day, Ed. How you doing, mate? It's great to be here.
I'm living the dream. Not like you. You're talking about living the dream.
What you're seeing is socialism in action. Socialism and communism, the experiment has failed every single time that it's been tried. Every time that it's tried, it fails for one reason or another, because of revolution, because of people, or because of economic collapse. And here we are seeing it again, but nobody's calling it out. Nobody's saying it.
He's a world-renowned figure, literally, and I'm not just saying that. He's been rated the #1 podcaster in Australia multiple times, and he is recently voted by Australian Magazine as a man who would most likely be voted in as the chief of the village in a post-apocalyptic world. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Russ from Australia. Hey, Rob.
Hello, Ed. How are you, mate? More like the village idiot than the chief of the village.
Good to see you, man. Every call, I ask everyone, all right, does everyone have their 300 gallons of fresh water? They're still laughing at me. Hey, you're supposed to have a gallon of water per person per day. That's a lot of water. You'll be surprised how fast you go through it when things happen. You know, 300 gallons is not that much. Hi, Suze. How you doing? You're looking good. How did they pay you? Did they pay you in cash, or did they pay you in what did they pay you in?
Silver. They pay in silver.
Yeah. Bye, Sue. Good to see you.
How are you, though? You didn't tell me how you were.
Oh, I'm doing. One day is just like the next day. So yeah, it's the same old stuff. Yeah.
That's what retirement is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is. I mean, I got to do something when I wake up in the morning. That's why I talk to Rob, and I got to.
Where's it ending up? The nuclear exchange, like duck and cover, like you learn at school, man, when you were a kid. I don't know if you were learning that when you were a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's going to save us, man. No one's coming in to save us.
I mean, I always end up editing down our 2-hour conversation to 45 minutes, or something reasonable for the audience, and very important material that he covers. Welcome back to the channel, Rob.
G'day, Ed. It's great to be back here, mate. Thanks for the invite. It's been too long between drinks. We need to do more of these things. But life gets in the way, and here we are. It's the main thing. So let's get into it.
Taking notes. So that was good. Hey, Suze, my favorite Russ. How you doing, Suze?
How are you going?
Oh, living the dream. Any chance I get to look at sunny Cronulla in the background there, I'll take it. I grew up daydreaming about, the South Pacific. The one thing about Australia that does concern me are the size of your bugs.
They are pretty big. There was my podcasting gear was in this basket over there the other day, and I hadn't pulled it out for ages because I was taking it over to Mario's, and I was digging through it, and I pulled all the shit out of it, and I looked down on myself, and there's a spider on me like this. It's about as big as my hand, and I went like that, and I went over, and it kind of ran over under the little grey couch behind me here, and Susie's photography bag was unzipped and open, like the flap was open, and she said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" Comes out, and I said, "Just watch out," and she unzipped the bag, and it jumped out. It was like an aliens. It was like an aliens movie. It's like.
Look, Mark, there you are. I hear you.
Okay. There I am, man. I mean, I'm looking like usually. I'm just like, I don't know. It's camera or something. Hopefully, not be that.
Yeah, you look like you lost like 30 pounds since the last time I.
Yeah, like.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, after that, now you know why every time Rob Bruss talks, I go out and buy another 20 gallons of fresh water.
Another box of toilet paper that you're so famous for in your garage.
Yeah, Rob doesn't know this, but I actually interviewed his psychoanalyst yesterday, and she spilled the beans. She told me that Rob often wakes up in the middle of the night saying, space, cyber, sabotage, EMP.
You're missing the next ones. Air, sea, land.
And we're going to be talking about the war in Ukraine, the economics of war, and probably a lot more interesting stuff. This is going to be a lot of fun, so please hang around. So let's get started. The first gentleman, the viewers to my channel will recognize. The female viewership of my channel always goes up when this man is on my channel, so I'm always appreciative when he's here. And he was voted by Australian Magazine as the man most likely to punch Vladimir Putin in the nose. Rob Bruss, ladies and gentlemen, from Cronulla, Australia. G'day, mate.
If I saw Vladimir Putin, I'd throat punch him. So I'll make it really clear for everybody.
Okay, Vladimir, consider yourself warned. Okay, next time you're in Cronulla, get an extra couple of bodyguards. All right. So, and our next gentleman is a man I've been very excited to meet. He's got a fascinating background, and I don't want to mess it up too much, but I don't know whether it's fair to say that he's a recovering communist, but I'll let him set it straight. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mario Bex. Hello, Mario. Welcome to the Hey Ed channel, and great to meet you.
Thank you, Andrew. And I'd like to say thank you to all of your viewers and listeners. And thank you for this opportunity. Today, I'm truly honored.
I gotta ask, did you have a
Yes.
trench coat? Do you have a trench coat?
Look,
those
I am
are
embarrassed to
spies.
say, but I showed Robert the other day. Rob, what was it called? Medvedev, right? I had a leather coat. Yes, I showed Robert. Rob says to me, Jesus, you look like a Medvedev. I was like, I had a leather coat. Yes.
Excellent.
He just doesn't have an
Excellent.
umbrella. Yeah.
No.
And he'll tell you how to make the umbrella and the thing that goes in the end of it. The abyss for a nuclear strike. And it's not a ground burst like a Terminator movie. It's in the atmosphere where it doesn't even have any fallout, but it switches everything off and destroys our way of life.
After that, now you know why every time Rob Bruss talks, I go out and buy another 20 gallons of fresh water.
Another box of toilet paper that you're so famous for in your garage.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, have you told Suze yet that you booked your Christmas vacation in Kherson, Ukraine?
It was actually in Kharkiv, more towards the
Kharkiv,
combat,
okay.
more towards the front.
front.
She's right behind me laughing.
Okay. Hi, Suze. I love Suze.
She says hi, Ed.
Okay, yeah, there she is. My name's Ed Anderson, and I am the host, moderator, and all-around nice guy of the Hey Ed YouTube channel.
And I am Heather Anderson, your all-around nice girl.
This is the Hey Ed YouTube channel, and I am not your host today, but I am still a nice guy. So today, a little bit of switching the tables for you. I am going to throw this interview over to my friend, Rupert Honeywood. Rupert, you want to say hello and take control?
Yeah. Hello, Ed. Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to turn the tables today. I'd like to think I'm a genuinely nice guy as well, although my wife would disagree, I think. But yeah.
I'm sure it's not
Yeah,
true.
so we've got a great topic today. And do you want to introduce your topic?
So, Allison, I guess what I'm going to do is, first of all, thank you very much for doing this. It's very, very generous of you. But I'm going to throw it to you because people would much rather listen to you talk than me. So I'll throw it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Allison Anandi.
Oh, thank you so much, Ed. Well, yeah, it does seem a very weird thing for the sleep guru to be talking about crypto. And when I first thought about the idea, I thought, I wonder if that will work. But actually, you'll see how it is actually connected.
And a little added disclaimer, I am an enthusiastic member of 7K Metals, as are many of the team members in the Hey Ed group. I have with us the CEO of 7K Metals, Jason Arfman. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Ed. Good to be here.
Oh, great to have you. Thank you so much for taking time. Is it okay if I call you Jason?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Could you tell us how long 7K Metals has been around, and what was the today we get to talk with a communist spy. All right, so let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to introduce Mario Bex from a secret location deep in the bowels of some building in Australia. Mario Bex, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Mario. Thank you for joining
Hello,
me.
Ed, and thank you very much for having me on your podcast.
You found yourself a really golden niche. That's a really good business to be in because
But what he was doing really well when he understood, because I said, I can't relax until I know this stuff are done. I can't just go have sex and then come back and do that. So he will come and help me do that. Do the dishes while I was putting my son to bed. That created an hour for us to be together. So everybody was happy.
Right. You know, ladies, just make a guy a sandwich. You know, So with me today is a beautiful Romanian dating/relationship coach. Yep, you heard me right. Yep. What the heck, Ed? Yeah, this is going to be fascinating. I've been looking forward to this interview for weeks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Christina Davey. How you doing, Christina?
So excited to be here, you know, and share this moment with you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. Welcome to the Hey Ed YouTube channel, Ninja.
Hey, thank you so much. I didn't know if we should be jumping right in. I don't know. Are we in gallery mode or are we in speaker mode?
We're in gallery mode.
Okay, so the whole time I'm just standing there twiddling my thumbs. Good thing I didn't pick my nose, so that's good to know. All right, cool. Let's do this.
No, we're both on together.
What do I do with my hand? Yeah, well, that channel is definitely blessed. It's not all me. I guarantee you. God is good, and this has been an amazing journey. Stressful, but I'm dealing with it.
Could you explain to the audience what your inspiration was for starting your channel?
Yeah, my wife kicked me out of the bed one day and says, stop talking about economics to our friends and family. That was my inspiration, honestly. For a greater part of 10 years before I started this, I was going everywhere. I was in lines in grocery stores. I was at churches. I was at schools. I was talking to everyone I can about the destruction of our currency and how the Federal Reserve is literally hell-bent on starting a CBDC.
So all this was the result of a secret plan by your wife to get you out of her hair, basically.
Yeah, literally. That's it. She's like, I don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And I'm like, millions will hear it. And I'll try to say, I'll add this too, because I said, you know, well, how do I do it? Because I wanted to be number one. And I don't say that to be bragging. We should all strive for number one. Every single one of you that are listening to this video right now can be number one. It's on you. You know, who cares about the naysayers and all that? Like today, I'm on a live stream and someone calls me a dork. And I'm like, well, I am a dork. I'm not going to lie. Life is too dang short to screw around. And so what I did is I just wrote down all the things all the really successful YouTubers did. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to do the opposite. So sorry.
Hey. Oh, man, that's awful. Okay, come on, guys. Okay, so, ready? All right, we got to do it again. All right. Hey. Okay, better. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. That was fun. 3, 2, 1. Hey, oh, come on, guys. You gotta do it at the same time. Do it one more time. Okay, come on.
What are you doing? and unmute yourself.
Yeah, unmute. Yeah, that'll help. Very good. Hello, ready? All right, 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Oh no.
That was rubbish. After three.
That's all right. It's good enough. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
That's kind of like herding cats, huh?
Channel. Edward Anderson, signing out. Let's have a great new year. Signing out.
Copy that.